Jillian here with us with Gut Personal, and she is a dietitian and coach with Gut Personal. And I am so excited to interview her regarding the gut connection to different issues that you wouldn't expect, like fertility and mental health. Jillian, can you tell me a little more about you and Gut Personal?
Absolutely. Thank you, Caitlin, so much for having me. This is truly my favorite topic. Anytime that I can get on and talk about the gut, I always take it because it's my favorite topic, and I'm very excited to be here. So my name is Jillian. I am the lead registered dietitian at Gut Personal, and Gut Personal is a functional medicine practice as well as a personalized supplement company. So I work kind of on the client side. I work with all of our clients. I do comprehensive functional lab testing, including gut testing, hormone testing, nutrient level testing, to really get down to the root causes of my clients' imbalances and their symptoms. So I'm very happy to be here. I work with women both privately, one-on-one. I conduct our most popular group program called the Gut Fix. I also just do a lot of one-off testing to get to those root cause answers. So gut health is really my jam, and it's something I get very passionate about it from personal experience. I'm sure we can dive into all of that. And so I'm very happy to be here kind of educating about the importance of a healthy gut.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about this topic. We've written a couple articles on it, and I've definitely wanted to dive deeper into that topic. I'm really excited about your product that I've been.
Yes!
I don't know if it's going to focus on it. The Soother.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, it definitely it helps move things along. So I love this product. I don't know that I take some other types of probiotics. I've got to try your probiotics because this is a great product. So what I want to touch on today is a topic that has been very emotional for me for the last year and a half. It's almost 2 years now, actually. I've been trying to get pregnant for almost 2 years. I had a miscarriage a year ago. Thank you. It was hard. And I hear this is a lot of issue for, a lot of people these days. How do you think the gut microbiome influences fertility for both men and women?
Yeah. There's a huge impact. And, it's staggering the rates of miscarriage and infertility that women are experiencing. I heard a statistic the other day where I think it was like 1 in 4 women have a miscarriage. Like it's really crazy. And so you have to start thinking about, okay, why? Like, why are we having these issues and these problems with infertility? More and more people are struggling with just mystery health symptoms is always what I call them. And that could look like infertility. It could also look like, autoimmune condition, hormone imbalances, digestive problems. Whenever I'm working with somebody with any of those like mystery health symptoms, when they're just not feeling good in their body, maybe they're struggling with deep fatigue, maybe they're struggling with the infertility, the first place I'm always thinking about is the gut. And now that sometimes surprises people because some people think, okay, if I'm having a hard time getting pregnant, it's an issue with my hormones. I would argue that we have to take it one step further, and it's actually an issue with your gut health. The gut is known as the center of all health. It influences literally every system in our body, including our hormones. So when it comes to things like hormones, our hormones are actually responding to something else. And so we have to uncover, okay, what are they responding to? Are they responding to something in the environment? Are they responding to imbalances in the gut? Our gut health, as most people know, this is where we're going to be, digesting our foods, we're absorbing our nutrients. And many times I see with my clients who are struggling with infertility, there can be a degree of nutrient deficiencies. Even if you have the most perfect textbook diet, you're eating all the right foods, if you're not properly digesting those foods, you're not even able to unlock the nutrients from those healthy foods that you're eating. So we could be dealing with some underlying nutrient deficiencies. We could be dealing with some underlying inflammation, which could be coming from bad bacteria or pathogens that could be harbored in the gut, or just a lack of that beneficial gut bacteria. That inflammation will absolutely impact our hormones. What I always tell women is our physiology as a female is all centered around feelings of safety, because our bodies are not going to procreate if it doesn't feel safe. And so if there's some imbalance, if there's, inflammation going on the inside, our bodies are going to be like, hey, we need to get this addressed before we start creating more life. That's kind of how the physiology works. So I do a lot of gut testing in my practice so we can dive into, okay, what are some of these imbalances going on? Is it due to nutrient deficiencies? Is it due to underlying inflammation? And when we can start kind of dialing down those root causes, then we can really start moving the needle.
Wow, I think I'm going to have to take your gut test, because I have definitely in the past taken antibiotics liberally.
Okay.
And I've heard that can cause leaky gut. I mean, my diet in general is pretty good. But yeah, I do wonder if I could be having those, not getting the nutrients kind of issue. And then your point too about the not feeling safe. I have a lot of stress in my life too. So I'm thinking that, in addition to that, that could definitely be the case.
Yeah, that's a big one. And, I do work with a lot of clients, I call it like peeling back the layers of the onion. The testing, super, super important and very, very valuable to kind of get some tangible, okay, what are we working with? But we also can't forget about the things like our nervous system and our lifestyle. Nutrition's a really big one. Maybe we don't even realize that we're not properly fueling our body, or maybe we're inadvertently under eating, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe, we're bringing in too many excess empty calories is what I always call them, that are just creating more disruption in the body. So when I work with clients, I'm really diving into all of this because of course it's impacting your gut health and it can be impacting fertility journeys as well.
Wow, yeah, it's definitely not something that most of us would expect to address. So what role do prebiotics, probiotics, and other supplements in gut personals range play in enhancing fertility?
Ooh, so much. So we'll start off with the difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic. That's a question that I get a lot. So probiotics, these are going to be the live beneficial bacteria that you're bringing inside of your gut. So you can get this through supplements, like by taking a probiotic. You could also get it through foods like fermented yogurts, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, those sort of things contain those live beneficial bacteria. So when you consume them, you're bringing them into the environment of the gut, and they have a whole bunch of benefits in there. Now, prebiotics are the food for those probiotics. So the prebiotics are going to be the things that help those probiotics thrive and survive. I like to use the analogy of like a fish tank. Think of your gut as a fish tank. You're putting some fish in there, which those are the probiotics, but then you need to feed those fish so that they stay alive. That's your prebiotic. So I really recommend taking both prebiotics and probiotics to support a well-balanced and healthy and a functioning digestive system. So those are really, really important. And how that is going to kind of correlate into the fertility journey is, like I was talking about, a big root cause to struggling with fertility can be if you don't have enough of that beneficial gut bacteria. That beneficial gut bacteria plays so many different roles in our bodies. You hear about the importance of a healthy gut and making sure that your gut is healthy so that you can be healthy and thriving. It's really that beneficial gut bacteria that's running the show on all of that. And it's that beneficial gut bacteria that plays a huge role in regulating our hormones. So if we're deficient in those bacteria because of, diet or lifestyle, stress really grinds down on our gut health and depletes that beneficial gut bacteria. There's a lot of different factors, antibiotics, of course. Then we really want to make sure that we're replenishing that system and we're doing it consistently so that that bacteria can continue to grow and thrive. So that's where I like to bring in some supplemental probiotic and prebiotic support. One of the biggest things, though, that I always caution with probiotics is probiotics are all created different, and different probiotics are good for different reasons. And so just going to, any old drugstore and pulling the first probiotic that you see off of the shelf, that may not be what's best for you. That can actually sometimes make digestive symptoms worse. It may just not help. It may not help you get the goals that you're after. So personalization is really, really important when it comes to our health in general, especially our gut health, especially probiotics. So that's really why we're called Gut Personal, is we're a company that's been built by functional medicine dietitians like myself. So we understand the importance of personalization. So we really weave that into our supplement recommendations. And we have a full line of probiotics so that we can make sure that you're taking the right kind for you. And that's how you're going to be getting the most bang for your buck.
Great, great. And so are there some cases, just a question I organically came up with here.
Yeah.
In response to what you're saying, are there some cases where a healthy diet will not fill that gap, where you'll still need the pre and probiotic in spite of eating everything right? For example, let's pretend we have a perfect diet.
Yeah, absolutely. So I call it the modern diet and the modern lifestyle. And there's this theory out there called, what is it? Evolutionary mismatch. It's called the evolutionary mismatch. It's basically what it says is that our environment is increasing at a pace faster than our biology can keep up with. And so we're going through immense changes with our diet and our agriculture, how we're producing our foods, what we're putting into our foods. And then you're layering that on top of our modern lifestyle, which is very rooted in high stress, a lot of value placed on productivity. You know, there's the hustle culture, go, go, go. And it really starts to kind of grind down on our health. And when you kind of mix all of these things together, it can be really, really hard on the body. And so even if you have the most perfect textbook diet, you could still be lacking a lot of key nutrients, and you could be plowing through your nutrients quicker than you can replenish them via foods. So it's my belief that supplements are not supplemental nowadays because our bodies are plowing through these nutrients, and these nutrients are in lesser amounts in our foods due to this modern agriculture, kind of depleting our soils from those essential minerals, all that good stuff. So I do believe that even if you have a very healthy diet, which that is the foundation, we all need to, making sure that we're properly fueling our bodies, but adding on like a little cherry on top of some supplemental support via probiotics or multivitamins or key nutrients that maybe you need more of due to your personal lifestyle, diet, circumstances, symptoms, whatever it may be, can be a really, really big help in covering up some of those gaps.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's almost like you need to eat completely organic and live in a bubble these days.
It's so hard, and it can feel super overwhelming sometimes. And what I always try to bring my clients back to is your body is so resilient. And so even if you've been struggling with symptoms for a really long time, even if you've been struggling with infertility, gut issues, hormone imbalances for a really long time, our bodies are screwed together to be resilient. And sometimes all it needs is just that added little bit of TLC and support to kind of help it get over the hump, and it can absolutely self-regulate again.
That's good news for me.
Right.
We're gonna have to start unpeeling those layers. So how might you personalize your products for supporting individuals with fertility challenges?
So a couple different ways. The most supportive way is, of course, working with our team of dietitians. So I'll speak for myself since I'm the lead dietitian over there. I work with a lot of women, and when you work with me, we do a lot of in-depth testing. So of course, I'm going to start with the gut. I'm going to do some comprehensive gut testing. It is a poop test, very humbling experience, but it's so worth it. Get a lot of insights from it. So I always start with the gut because I want to see what's going on there. Then I'll move into some hormone testing. I want to see what your body is producing in terms of hormones, how it's regulating those hormones, how it's metabolizing them. We want to make sure, we're kind of crossing our T's, dotting our I's on all of that. But then I'm also doing an in-depth nutrition assessment. We're, walking through day of eating. When do you eat? The meal timing is important. What you're eating is important. How you're eating is very important. So we're kind of peeling back the layers of all of that. We're talking about lifestyle, stress, sleep. We know all that plays a big role. So that's really the most supportive and the most personalized way that you can get those supplement recommendations, because through all these different things that we're talking about, I can glean some different clues of, okay, this is exactly what you need. Now, there's some people who are like, I don't really want to work with a practitioner one-on-one, or I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy to do that. Totally fine. That's why we created our quiz. So we have a quiz on our website that people could go to. It's free. It takes like 3 minutes to complete. The quiz was actually created by myself and the founder of the company, who's also a dietitian. And so we know what sort of questions to ask. It's the sort of questions that we're asking in our private sessions with clients, but it's open to a much broader pool of people. So you can go on there, take the quiz, answering the different questions so that we can dial in exactly what your body uniquely needs to address those root causes. So that's where I usually recommend people start, is by the quiz. And if they want more support and more testing, then working with our team would be a great next step.
Yeah, and I definitely encourage everyone to go take that quiz. I did it again just a few minutes before this call. And another thing that's interesting is, even if you're not having apparent gut issues, gas and not pooping for
bloating,
then it still benefits you, and you might still be having issues with your gut. You agree with that?
100%. And I love that you brought that up, because gut issues don't have to just look like overt digestive issues. So sure, if you struggle with things like bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, nausea, those are kind of more obvious symptoms of like, yeah, I think I have some digestive issues going on. But what most people don't realize is that gut issues can also look like skin issues, acne that you can't seem to clear, or eczema, rosacea, psoriasis. It can look like immune dysfunction, like you get sick all of the time, or you struggle with autoimmunity, whether that be Hashimoto's or celiac or rheumatoid arthritis. It can also look like being tired all the time, struggling with fatigue and low energy levels throughout the day. It can look like hormone imbalances. Like I was saying, the gut is the center of all health, and it has its hands in every single system in the body. So when it comes to any sort of symptom that you're struggling with, if you just feel off, or you just don't really feel like yourself, always recommend starting with the gut, because it's all rooted. It all comes back to our gut health.
Wow. And yeah, that's really interesting, because I took the quiz. I don't really have a whole lot of apparent gut issues, but I definitely get some fatigue, and I had acne, like really bad acne, all the way up until a few years ago, which is pretty curious. And I could never solve it. I even took Accutane as a teenager, which I'm sure is really bad on the body.
Good. I did too. I did the same thing. I struggled with a lot of acne, and coincidentally, I was also struggling with a lot of gut issues at the time. This was back in high school and college. I didn't realize that the two were connected. So I was going to the gastroenterologist for my gut issues. They couldn't figure it out. I was going to the dermatologist for my skin issues. They just put me on Accutane and birth control. Nothing was really fixing it until I healed my gut, doing the gut testing, taking that holistic root cause approach. Then I was able to really heal up my skin as well as my gut issues. I always say your skin is just a window to what's going on the inside.
Yeah, it's it truly is. You are what you eat.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are what you absorb as well.
Yeah. And some things you don't even know you're absorbing.
Right.
Do you think there's a lot of environmental, just stuff in the air or in products that are affecting our gut as well?
Absolutely. And it kind of goes back to that theory of the environmental mismatch. You rewind, 2, 3, maybe 4 decades ago, there were not the same ingredients that you're finding, not even just in our food, but in our products and in our environments. And especially with women, you think about all of the products that we use every single day. I mean, men too, but I really find that my women clients who are like, okay, I have my 20-step skincare routine, and then I use all of my powders and my lotions and potions, and I'm putting my lotion all over my whole body, and the list goes on and on and on. Feminine care products, perfumes, deodorants. I mean, the list really starts to stack up. And when you really start thinking about, okay, what are in those products, and knowing that those products, whatever is in them, is actually entering your body, because if you're putting something on your skin, your skin is actually your body's largest organ. And so everything that goes on your skin is going inside of your body. Your skin absorbs it. And this was also something that I didn't even realize until post college, and I was well into my dietitian career. I didn't even realize that all of these things that I was putting on my skin, or candles I was lighting in my house, or laundry detergent I was using to wash my bed sheets, all of these things were impacting my physical body. And so it can be really enlightening to kind of start just thinking about that. And I always tell clients, don't feel overwhelmed by it. Don't feel like you need to go turn over your entire house and replace everything. But maybe if you are ready to get a restock on laundry detergent because you ran out, maybe hop it on Google and doing a quick little Google search for a cleaner, more natural alternative could be a really great idea. And they're so readily available nowadays. There's a lot of great brands and products who are making a shift in the industry, and they're easy to find. You can get them on Amazon or at Target or at a drugstore. And so I do recommend, kind of making some shifts when you're able to, and just start small.
That's funny you say don't go and just throw everything out, because I actually, and this might be a little bit of a different topic, so I'll just touch on it, but I dove into endocrine disruptor, like what everything, all the different things we have, that, microwaving things in plastic, that they have endocrine disruptors that can mess with your hormones and your fertility. And when I learned about all the different things that happen, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do or put anything on my body. So it definitely is a try not to be overwhelmed by it, but try to and take steps to clean up what you.
Absolutely. And, and kind of thinking about it as like an empowered approach of like, this is information that you didn't know a month ago. And like, how cool that now you have this information. And it's not like you have to completely overhaul your whole life, but making simple little changes when you can. I mean, that's more than you were doing a month ago. So it can be a very empowering thing to kind of start gathering some of this education and learning about it.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. And we've probably already touched on this. So maybe if there's anything beyond it, beyond supplements, what lifestyle or dietary changes do you recommend to someone looking to improve fertility through better gut health? I know we didn't say anything about exercise really yet.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on
let's
that?
talk about it. Definitely. So I always say, supplements, it's like the cherry on top, but we can't forget about the foundations. And those foundations are going to be our nutrition and our lifestyle. So starting with nutrition, really, really important to be eating balanced meals. And when I talk about balanced meals, is you want to make sure all of your meals have a good source of protein, good source of carbohydrates, good source of those healthy fats, and some fiber. So some like vegetables, colorful veggies to get in that really gut health benefits. And so something that I see a lot with my clients, I work predominantly with women, men too, but predominantly with women. And I see a lot of women inadvertently under eating protein. That's probably the biggest nutrient that I see lacking. And it's super important, especially for our hormones and fertility. So making sure that you're getting in plenty of protein. I like to make sure my clients are getting at least 30 grams of protein with every single meal and not skipping breakfast. That's another really big one that I see is, intermittent fasting being all the crave. But when we're talking about fertility, I do not want my clients skipping breakfast. And it all goes back to creating the feelings of safety in the body. If you are intermittent fasting, and fasting is a stressor on the body, I'm not saying that intermittent fasting is good or bad, but I do think for fertility, it's not something that I recommend, just because if you're putting excess stressors on the body through fasting, that's going to reduce your body's feelings of safety, and it can impact fertility for sure. So a protein-rich breakfast within the first hour or hour and a half of waking up is definitely something that I recommend. I also want to make sure that my clients are getting in plenty of good, healthy fats. So lots of nuts and seeds, avocados, avocado oil, extra virgin olive oil. All of these things are very important for hormone production as well. So that's kind of some basics as far as the nutrition stuff goes. And when I'm talking about lifestyle, these are like our daily habits, kind of what we're doing day in and day out. So this is going to include our sleep, our stress, our exercise, all very, very important. Of course, we know sleep is very, very important. We got to make sure that we're getting good restful sleep at night. So that is one that I'm always working on with my clients, making sure that we're limiting exposure to electronics, the blue lights in your eyes before you go to bed, That's going to mess with your circadian rhythm. We want to make sure that we're trying to go to bed around the same time each night, waking up at around the same time each morning. Your body likes rhythms. So the more that we can kind of stick to a routine, the better your body's going to be feeling. As far as stress, we could probably sit here all day long talking about stress, but all of our bodies are under too much stress. And that could be, psychological stress, like having too much on your plate or feeling overwhelmed at work or going through a global pandemic. But it can also be emotional stressors. It could be physical stressors like gut imbalances if you're harboring a pathogen in there. It could be dietary stressors like not eating enough. All those things go when it comes to stress. So weaving in some good nervous system regulation practices. I say try to do something every day that down regulates your nervous system and brings you joy. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 60 minutes, but finding something that you can do every day to help relieve some of that stress is really important. And then exercise. So as far as exercise goes, we'll kind of talk in the context of fertility. I personally am not a huge fan of a lot of high intensity interval training style workouts, think like CrossFit and boot camps and those sort of things when you're going through a fertility journey, especially if you're having a hard time with fertility. And it all circles back to letting your body feel safe. And exercise is also a stressor on the body. I work with some women who are, really into the cardio, and they'll be on the treadmill for an hour just running. That's really, really hard on our bodies. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but also, we have to be thinking about how can we make our bodies feel safe and how can we be more nurturing? How can we weave in some more low impact exercise? Like, can you go on a long walk a couple days of the week instead of doing a high intensity style workout? Could you weave in some Pilates or yoga to bring in nourishment to your body? Even things like making sure that you're properly recovering after your workouts. If you're working out hard, you got to recover harder. So these are all things that I kind of been talking with my clients about and walking them through when they're going through a fertility journey.
Wow. So I learned some things I need to try there. One is maybe more of my hiking and less of the running.
There you go. Yes, definitely.
Yes. Oh man. What else did you say there that I just resonated with?
I know I threw a lot. People are gonna.
I know. I'm having a brain fart.
Bit.
There's definitely some stuff in there. I'm gonna re-listen to this because it's all great information. There's definitely some things that. Oh yeah, I have 4 kids and 2 businesses I'm building. So
you need to be doing a lot of nervous system support.
I know. I've been making sure that I meditate in the morning and I've been really trying to, just put my foot down about making myself busy all the time and, trying to get too much out of my day and making sure that it's me first, going for, I'm actually going to go for a walk after this. Probably not a run.
I love it. Do a walk.
Yeah. So those are always all great insights. Do you think you have anything else that you'd like to touch on regarding gut health and fertility?
I always love to just encourage people, if you are feeling off in your body, if you're experiencing symptoms or having troubles with fertility or digestive issues or really anything goes, to be your own best advocate and, seek support, because it can feel very debilitating. It can feel overwhelming. I know our first approach is to always hop onto Dr. Google and start researching our symptoms. And that can just be like going down a rabbit hole, because Google does not know you. It doesn't know your personal history. It doesn't know your symptoms, and it doesn't know what you uniquely need. So seeking out support, it truly is so worth it. And at the end of the day, our health is just the best investment that you can make. And so really taking the time and the energy to support your body is just something I get very, very passionate about. And I know that it can change the lives of so many people. So I always just like to give that permission that you do deserve to feel so good, and you deserve support in that.
Yeah, and I'll have to second the going down the rabbit hole of Google. I've admittedly had a problem with it, with the fertility stuff. And you always just get to this, it could be this, or it could be this. Like
hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, for sure. So I really appreciate all those insights. I definitely think I'm going to consider your supplements over the ones that I pick up at
Yes.
Costco.
We would love to support you. We actually just launched a incredible prenatal supplement. And I would encourage you to check it out. It was actually formulated by myself and the founder, and it's really the best of the best prenatal. And I can't wait for the day that I start thinking about conceiving, because it's an incredible one. It includes all the nutrients you need in their correct forms and the optimal dosages. So definitely check it out. If you'd like, I can kind of give you like my top 4 supplements for fertility if you find that would be helpful.
Please.
So what I really like to recommend for fertility, number 1 is a good prenatal. So like I said, we just launched one. You can go check it out if you want. Number 2 is a good omega-3 supplement. So omega-3s are really great for bringing down inflammation in the body, as we were talking about in the beginning, really important for fertility. So taking a good omega-3, very important. The third supplement I would recommend is a good vitamin D supplement. Vitamin D is very important for our hormones, hormone production. It's really great for like our mood as well. And many people are deficient in vitamin D. So I always recommend supplementing with that one. The fourth one I would add on there is a good magnesium supplement. So magnesium is one of those nutrients that it's the first to go in times of stress. So when your body is stressed out, it plows through magnesium, and it's really hard to get enough magnesium through food. Unless you're eating like a crap ton of pumpkin seeds and dark chocolate every single day, you're probably not getting enough magnesium. And so supplementing with magnesium would be great. And then I'll throw in a bonus 5th would be a good probiotic to support your gut health.
Great. I really appreciate all the information. There's some of those vitamins that I'm taking, but I probably need to do a little more research on the quality of those. Definitely test low vitamin D quite often. And
Yeah.
that was my last question. Magnesium. I know there's all these different types of magnesium.
Mhm.
Is there a
Yep.
specific type of magnesium that you suggest?
Absolutely. So the form that we use, we have our magnesium supplement. It's called the Miracle Worker. It truly is a miracle worker. It's our bestseller by far. And the form of magnesium really matters. So I will only recommend the form magnesium glycinate. That's what we use inside of the Miracle Worker. There's a lot of different forms out there. Some are very cheap and they just don't absorb well in the body. That can cause, number 1, more digestive issues. Like it can make you feel bloated or give you diarrhea. But since you're not absorbing it, you're also not reaping all of the benefits. So shopping for a good, high quality, highly absorbable form of magnesium, like the Miracle Worker, you're going to be getting more bang for your buck. You're going to get more regular in the bathroom, so normal bowel movements. It's going to help you sleep better at night. It's incredible for the nervous system. So going back to the nervous system, it's great for stress and anxiety. It's great for period cramps, headaches. If you work out a lot, you definitely want to be taking a good magnesium glycinate. So the benefits go on and on and on. This is one that I think everybody should be taking. So that's the Miracle Worker. And yeah, great question about the magnesium.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you if you didn't touch on it, if it helps with anxiety, because I'm pretty sure that's the magnesium I was taking for a little bit. I need to go buy some from you. But it definitely helps a lot, like noticeably.
Game changer. And yeah, you want to make sure it's the glycinate form.
Yes.
Otherwise, the other ones, they won't give you that same benefit.
Yeah, I know. I've taken the other ones and I'm like, what are they talking about? I don't feel less anxious. And finally my therapist is like, no, you have to get this type of, and I got it mixed with ashwagandha, which is also really awesome.
Love that.
And that's great as well. So anyways, Jillian, I am so happy that we had this conversation. I'm really excited to share this with all my readers and YouTube followers and my local community as well. Orlando Thrive Tribe. That's what our Blue Zone Inspire community is.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for having me. And, if you or if anyone has any follow-up questions, let me know on Instagram. I mean, that's truly the best place to get a hold of me. It's just jilliansmith.rd. Send me a DM. If you need a probiotic recommendation, send me a DM, and I'm really here to support.
All right. Thank you so much, Jillian.